Diseases. This is the Time magazine back in May of last year. There's a warning. We are not ready for the next pandemic. So the world has seen many strange diseases, many new illnesses that don't have solutions for. Something that the world has never seen before in the past. And these diseases kill more people at a faster pace. Well, some people say, well, more people die from diseases because the population has grown, and so the percentage maybe is still the same, but perhaps more people die because of the population has increased. That may be true, but the fact remains that there are diseases that we have never encountered before. And just like a family, even though we are not sick, but our family, somebody in a family is sick. So even though we ourselves are not sick, but the world is sick, other people are sick, they're dying from illnesses. We are made of the same organic material. We are here we're sharing the same earth. We're like in the same family. So even though we ourselves are not sick, but it's still a problem that we should try to do something to alleviate. And one of the ways is to be healthy ourselves so that we can help others. If we are sick, it is very difficult to help other people. But when we are healthy, we can put in the effort to help other people. And what can we do to help other people? And so that's why the importance of today's topic is something that we can relate to. Although something that you may not see a whole lot discussed in Buddhism. But as you go through, you will appreciate today's topic. So why does disease occur? From a scientific perspective, we have endemic, which is local, right? Disease that is affecting the local group of people. And when that gets spread further into multiple cities, multiple groups, then you have epidemic. And when it's the entire world, now our world is very globalized. And now we are threatened by this pandemic, where now the whole world is infected by this disease. There is no disease prevention solution, and it is part of life. The Buddha said that 3,000 years ago. It's part called suffering, dukkha. We cannot get away from the suffering of birth, old age, illness, and death. When you have life, that's the price to pay for. It comes with. So disease, illness is something that we can never get rid of. And diseases are always one step ahead of science. Once we cure one virus, one disease, next one waiting in line to occur. And science can never be ahead to prevent disease. The best that they can do is to control it. And so that's the word that we have to deal with. And when we see diseases as enemies, and that's how it's often viewed by the world, that these diseases, these viruses are enemies and they are to be eliminated. When there is life and you try to eliminate it, life will try to go around it, will try to survive, just like we do. When we are in an environment that threatens our survival, we will find a way to enhance our survival. It's just part of nature. So that's why we have diseases and viruses that are more resistant to antibiotics, because they have found a way to survive. And so that's from a scientific perspective. But from an ethical point of view, diseases are messages to allow us to understand that we have gone off course in nature. People, they feed their cattle, animals, with chemicals. They don't even allow their animals like pigs and ducks and chickens to eat naturally, but they force feed, right? They forcefully open the mouth of an animal, they stuff food in there right into the stomach, so that they can digest faster. Those growers cannot wait. They don't have enough time to wait years for the animals to grow. They want the animals to grow quickly to a point where they've grown so much, so fast that their legs cannot support their own weight and they collapse. And they just lie there until they get chopped off. So nature is telling us, don't raise chickens and animals by the thousands. Treat them like prisoners, and at the end, take them out and chop them off. And that's inhumane. So all these diseases are messages to tell us, find another way, a more humane way to find food. Okay, so because of the demand from the population for food, that some growers are forced to do that. But there shouldn't be an excuse to treat sentient beings inhumanely. And when you look at Buddhism, whether it's an animal or a person of different colors, we are all the same because we have that same Buddha nature. And so from a Buddhist perspective, we are equal. And so we should not look people on the outside and judge them, but look at their heart, what they're capable of, that they one day they can become Buddhas and they can help sentient beings. So Buddhism overcomes that bias, that prejudice, by looking at their true nature of who they are. We've seen strange diseases like cholera. Cholera can cause diarrhea, severe dehydration, and if been treated, the mortality rate is 50%, and it will kill within hours. So we've seen here cholera is a type of bacteria that only focuses on the lower intestines of the body. It has no interest in the heart, it has no interest in the brain, and it only attacks your lower intestine, the small intestine. And it will cause you to dehydrate, and eventually you become weak and you die. Ebola, there's no cure for it. Mortality rate is 90%. It causes fever, muscle pain, diarrhea, vomiting, and bleeding. So Ebola has no interest in the intestine, but it's interested in your spinal vertebrae. It attacks the back of your vertebrae, and it causes bleeding and diarrhea. It disables your body, and you sit there, you lie there until you die. HIV is a special kind of virus. It attacks your immune system. It doesn't attack your body part, but it attacks your immune system. It's just like an enemy that has no interest in, when it tries to conquer a country, it has no interest in destroying buildings, killing people, or national treasures, but it focuses on destroying your defense system, like your radar, police forces, your system that you use to defend your country. Seems like every bacteria has a certain interest in disabling the body. Not only is disabling the body, and the humans form antidotes to overcome. And so now we have viruses that are attacking our food chain, like swine flu, right? Attacks pigs. Say, so you like to eat pigs, hey? I'm going to attack your food chain, so you never have, so that when you eat what you like, you get infected. Just like people who like pate, liver. It's just like viruses. They have their own appetites too. They like to attack certain parts of the body, just like how people like to eat, munch on certain parts of animal. Say, okay, well, you like chickens, eh? I will attack your chickens. We have avian flu. So avian flu attacks chickens and make them sick, and when we eat them, we get infected. And we have mad cow diseases. You like your filet mignon, huh? You like your steak. We attack those too. So they attack cows, and it causes mental deterioration, like dementia. And the victim will be lying there unconscious, in a coma, just waiting to die. And this prion is a new class of infectious agent, and it attacks only the brain. It likes the brain. It doesn't care about the heart. It doesn't care about your liver. It likes to attack the brain. So when we eat infectious cows, infectious agents will attack our brain. Not only is it trying to kill us, the body, but it's also trying to attack our food chain. And some people say, well, animals are not very safe. Let's switch to fish. Well, fish have their own diseases too. So it seems like nature has gone angry on humanity. And HIV, what is it telling us? It's telling society to stop the sexual misconduct, but to observe morality and responsibility. Especially in the Western society, where we love our freedom. Everybody loves the freedom, and everybody wants to live to maximize our freedom. And that involves enjoyment. In a Western society, we enjoy our freedom, and we don't recognize that responsibility. And so HIV is telling us, say, stop it. Observe morality. Stop going against nature. And so all these diseases, all these epidemics are messages for us to reflect and to help us understand that we are off course. We need to correct ourselves. So all these diseases slow people down from killing, from mistreating animals. And if they don't recognize that, they continue to do that, then those diseases will have to end them with death. But some people, there are people who can cure them. Some people who have had HIV, they gone on to do merits to help people to go out and share their own experiences and help people to correct their way. Right? People who've gone out, say, eat right, exercise, help other people, cultivate merits. And when they do that, they are receiving the message from nature. And when they can harmonize themselves, then those diseases go away because there's no longer a negative part of it, negative energy that those viruses can resonate with. And so when in our hearts we don't have any animosity, we don't have any hatred, we don't have the three poison, then there are no conditions for those viruses to survive. So they either die off or they stay dormant, but they don't attack us because we are not giving them the conditions, the environment for them to grow. Diseases are not enemies. And we should not think that all these viruses like HIV are sorrows to humanity, or these viruses here are destroying our favorite meals, right? Taking away the flavor of the filet mignon. We should not be so self-focused. Those things are not there really to attack us, but because we have provided the environment for them to grow. And unfortunately, we have gone off course with nature. And so nature is sending us a message to correct our ways. So we have to evaluate our the meal that we put on the table. Right? Our favorite meal, is it worth it? Is there a better way to enjoy our meal? Is there a more humane way? Our meal shouldn't cause so much suffering in other people. Just to feed our stomach, that we have to cause so much suffering on other beings. Is that worth it? Right? For us to reflect. And to reflect on our moral living. Observe responsibility, observe morality. And people who don't observe that will face HIV because when they open themselves up, they are more susceptible to such disease. And so these diseases here are not meant to threaten humanity. They are messages for us to reflect.